Hey guys, it is Wingy here and welcome to a brand new video on my channel, and today I'm going to be talking about a series that I need to talk about more. I've done maybe 1-2 videos on this before, but I need to talk more about Inside Number 9 because it is genuinely one of my favourite shows from the last few years. I just absolutely adore it. I love the style of it. I love the format. I love Reece Shearsmith and Steve Pemberton. It's a match made in heaven for me. So let's talk about the latest series, which is Series 7. Now, before I properly get into this video where I'm talking about each of the individual episodes, what I liked, what I didn't like, I just want to say, go and watch this series. It is definitely worth a watch. And I am going to be talking some spoilers in this video, and I don't want to ruin it for you because if you know the format of Inside Number 9, there's certain things you're not supposed to know going into the episode. So with that in mind, if you already know and you've seen them, cool, stick around. If you haven't, go and watch it. So as usual, we get 6 brand new episodes, starting off with Merrily, which the concept of this as an Inside Number 9 episode I think is great. Obviously the format of finding somewhere that's in a location with the number 9, a lot of the time it is going to be somebody's house. You can't really avoid that, to be honest, but having it set in a boat I thought was really cool. It was a really nice change of pace. It really adds to the atmosphere of a potential story. And going into this, I was expecting quite a creepy story, but in actual fact, it isn't. It's quite a personal story. This one sees a group of old university friends come together for what all but one think is just, you know, a reunion. But that isn't actually the case. In this episode, we also get Mark Gatiss, who obviously is part of League of Gentlemen, and we also get Diane Morgan, who is just perfect for this style of show and this style of comedy. I kind of already had an idea of what her character would be like going into this, and I was right, but she is very good at it. Now, like I say, the vibe of this one isn't what I expected, but I definitely enjoyed it for what it was. I do like some of the humour in this. I do like that there is kind of a dark edge throughout, like you see this guy on the banks of the lake that they're on, and at the start of the story, as it is Inside Number 9, you do tend to think like, oh, the twist is going to be something to do with this guy, like he's going to be a murderer, or he's going to be like the victim of one of their murders because one of them is a murderer, you know. No, it isn't. Essentially what it is, Reece Shearsmith's character, his wife died, he wanted a final send-off for his wife and he wanted his old university friends, and he ends up dying because he jumps into the water, sets her ashes off in fireworks, and presumably dies from hypothermia, because you would. It's night. Oh, I didn't mention that the boat was stuck in the weeds, which it is. And then at the very end, Reece Shearsmith gets taken by the guy who was at the side of the river or the lake and is reunited with his wife. I've got to admit, on first viewing, I liked everything but the ending, and I think the reason why is because the ending felt very quick. It felt very rushed. I wasn't entirely sure what happened with his friends. I didn't know if they lived, if they died. There's a line of dialogue that says something like, oh, your friends have been taken, or something like that. Yeah, on second viewing, it's definitely a lot better. I appreciate some of the jokes more. I appreciate the way that the characters are written in this one, and that, you know, they all kind of want more out of life. And Mark Gatiss' character, he's kind of got everything in life, but he's kind of bored with it. There was a nice dynamic there. Really strong episode overall, I think. But I will say, for me personally, this one needed multiple viewings. Episode 2 was Mr. King, which sees Reece Shearsmith go to a school where he's the new teacher. All the students, they seem kind of sad that Mr. King, their old teacher, isn't around anymore, and he's just trying to fit in, and he's teaching them about climate change. And because they're in like a little Welsh village, they don't really know much about anything, seemingly. Now the thing is with this one, this is one of the best of the series, in my opinion. They could have easily have gone down the route of it's a secret paedophile ring, and to be fair, they did really set that up. But I think this episode encapsulates why I love Inside Number 9 as much as I do, because you think it's going to be one thing, but then the twist happens and you're like, oh, okay, right, yeah, no, didn't see that coming, but you should have done because of how the episode's set up. They're talking about climate change at the beginning and you think, oh, it's just a generic lesson that he's teaching, but no, in the end, that is actually a significant thing, because he is, I'm assuming, turned into compost or something, or recycled into the planet, which is better for the environment, by the kids. And obviously the teachers are in on it as well, and the entire village is in on it as well. Now this one, again, the humour in it I think is great. there's a whole sequence that's really, really awkward to watch where Steve Pemberton's character takes a picture of Reece Shearsmith's penis. Out of context, well, even in context it's weird, but out of context it sounds worse than what it is. Then you realise why they do it later on in the story. Genuinely, this was so good. I didn't predict the ending, I didn't see it coming, and it was a thrill ride from start to finish. Episode 3 was 9 Lives Cat. This is my least favourite of the series. Some people might disagree because I know that some people seem to really like this one from what I've read. It just didn't really resonate with me. It didn't really click with me the way that some of the others did. The essential premise of this one is you got this woman called Kat who is a very cliched detective character, and then you realise throughout the story that actually she's in the mind of a writer and he's going to put her in the bottom drawer because he can't really think of what else to do with her. So it's almost like he's interacting with his own creation and she's just like, no, don't put me in the drawer, I can do this, blah, 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 blah. It's a little bit convoluted. And then obviously later on you find out that the writer character of Kat's story is also a character that is being written in a book, and the writer doesn't know how to end the story. I don't know. This one just didn't click with me. It didn't resonate with me. I'm not a writer personally. Maybe if you are actually a writer, that this one will click with you a little bit more because you'll understand where they're coming from. But for me, I just found this one a little bit dull. I found it a little bit underwhelming. The cast were great. I really enjoyed the performances. I kind of liked where the story was going, but for me, it just fell a little bit flat. Like I say, I feel like I might be in the minority on this one though, because I think quite a few people did enjoy this one. Episode 4 featured Daisy Haggard and Daniel Mays, and also, oh, what's he called now? It's not John Hamm. Jason Isaacs. Why do I get those two mixed up? Anyway, it featured those three. It's called Kidnap, and it's a kidnap story. What I liked about this one was it wasn't really like a stereotypical Inside Number 9 in the sense of, here's your story, and then there's the twist that you didn't see coming. This one had little revelations throughout the entire story. It was like you were unraveling it from the beginning, and things got more and more clear as you watched the episode. And for me, I did really enjoy this episode, particularly because I did enjoy that change of pace. Again, I love the cast, I love the acting. I think Daniel Mays is really good in this story. The fact that at the beginning he seems like he's this really off his head, but still very much in control kidnapper who's got a grudge, and as the story unfolds you realise he's kind of just a middleman and he's a bit of a fucking idiot. The thing to me though was, it's not entirely clear what exactly happened, because I'm not entirely sure if Daniel Mays' character and Daisy Haggard's character were in on it together, or it just sort of ended up like that because of other circumstances. I don't think that is made 100% clear. Maybe it's just me. Someone please feel free to correct me, but no, this one was very, very good. It was very enjoyable to watch. Like I said, the performances are great, and I do like the slight change up to the format of Inside Number 9. The penultimate episode of the series was A Random Act of Kindness. Now, this one was annoying for me as I was watching it, because my partner Becky turned to me and said, that's him from the future, innit? Like, I bet it's to do with time travel. Yeah. So I've got to admit, in terms of Inside Number 9 standards, the fact that the twist in this, or at least one of the major plot developments in this, is so obvious is a little bit disappointing. However, what I will say is, this is a beautiful episode. Whether you go into this knowing that this is going to be about time travel or not, this is a genuinely beautiful half hour of television to watch. There's so many things in it that really should resonate with you, particularly if you're of a younger age. I think when we're young, we like to think that we know everything and that our parents are fucking idiots and that everything that they do is wrong and you know better, and sometimes I think you don't realise how bad you actually treat them, and this episode sort of highlights that. And now as I've got older, I do think back to some of the times with me and my mum, and I do think like, was I that bad? Yeah, I might have been, you know, I might have been a proper fucking dickhead. But also, my kettle of fish, because not only does it have a personal message, or like a message that will resonate with the audience, but it's to do with time travel as well, which is awesome. Just the whole thing is beautiful. I don't know if this is my favourite one of the series. I feel like it might be. And then as you get towards the end of the story, where it's to do with timelines and like possible loops and all that sort of stuff, I thought that was really interesting, and I thought it was a great way to wrap up the story. It didn't need a big reveal. It didn't need like a, oh, this was what was happening all along. I know I sort of moaned about it before, but like I said, I do feel like whether you see it as a big twist or not, or you see it coming, it doesn't really matter about the time travel stuff. It doesn't really matter about this guy changing the timeline, or that he's this guy who did invent time travel in the future or past. Like, it doesn't really matter. It's just a great entertaining story, and again, a change of pace for Inside Number 9, because it doesn't rely on that twist. Not that Inside Number 9 has to rely on the twist, but that is kind of like its thing. And then this is why I said before that I don't know if that last one was my favourite, because I fucking love Wise Owl. I thought that was such a really, really good episode, and one of my favourite of all time of Inside Number 9. Again, is there a twist in this story? Yes. What I love about it is it doesn't feel like a pull the rug moment. It feels like the story has naturally progressed to get to that point. What I love is also the use of the 70s films, like I don't know if you've seen them, they're like public announcement films or public safety films. They were very famous in the 1970s. It uses that. It's very clever as well, the twit you, with the owl saying like, oh, you're a twit if you do this. That was genius. I thought that was actually really, really clever, and you can tell that these are children of the 70s as well. I love how dark this one goes, and I think at the start of it, you really don't know exactly where it's gonna go. You know that something shady has happened in the past. You know it's gonna be dark, but you don't know who it is or where it's coming from. And the revelation of the truth behind the sister or the little girl dying in the house fire, I just thought was sublime. I loved the performance from the dad as well, even though he is such a bastard of a character. And what I really enjoyed as well was Reece Shearsmith. I loved his performance in this, because he's clearly damaged from trauma in his past. And I think at the start of the episode, you do think, oh, he's not quite roofed in right. He's still clearly got issues. Like, is he gonna be, you know, a psychopath? Is he gonna, you know, kill his dad or something like that? But I love the fact that throughout the entire thing, it's almost like you're watching him grow up, and I love that. I think, like I said, it's either this one or the time travel one, but either way, those two are some of my favourites out of all of Inside Number 9. This one especially I thought was genius, and would easily probably get into my top 10 if I'm being totally honest. Overall, this series of Inside Number 9 I really enjoyed. It's not perfect, it does have its weaker episodes. Then again, every single series does, not just of Inside Number 9, of any show, really. I did like that the format felt a little bit different. It felt like they changed it up a little bit. Like I said, it's not reliant on the twist. It's not like, here's an episode and then here's the bit that you're waiting for, which is the twist. What I liked was that it just felt like the stories naturally progressed, and it feels like as writers, they're kind of growing more into it. I don't know how many more series they're gonna do. I mean, I would assume it was 9, because if they do more than 9, then they've missed a trick there. But yeah, I love the guest cast as well. I mean, I always tend to. They always get great people in it. And overall, this is probably the strongest series of Inside Number 9 for a little while, to be honest. I think I did enjoy Series 6, but Series 5 was a little bit weaker. But I think this one is better than 6. Then again, 4. Do I prefer it to 4? I don't know. I'm not sure. But either way, it's one of the stronger series in my opinion. In the comments below though, guys, let me know what you think. Inside Number 9 Series 7. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Whatever it is, let me know down below. And also, what was your favourite episode from the series and why? If you enjoyed this video, then make sure you leave a like on it, subscribe for more. Social media and Patreon links will be in the description as always. So if you would follow me on any of those things, I'd absolutely love you forever. But, till next time guys, you take care of yourselves. Goodbye.